Hi there, Mar Haddad here again. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can configure Ether channels on the Cisco switches. So Ether channel is to bundle many interfaces together. So they'll be representing on the switch as one port. And then you can have more throughput from your layer 2. Then this will give you more bandwidth to your customer. So I'm going to show you in this lab the three different ways that you can do Ether channel using the protocols which are PAgP, LACP, and EtherChannel static. So this is something I'm going to do in this lab. Let's go now to the scenario to see what the scenario, and then I will start doing the points. So this is my scenario. I do have here two switches. So those are Cisco switches. They are connected to two interfaces, gigabit 0 over 0 to gigabit 0 over 0 and 0 over 1 to 0 over 1. Now, when you have like this is called redundancy. Then there is a protocol which is called spanning tree protocol. Actually, by default, the spanning tree protocol is the fast spanning tree protocol or the rapid spanning tree protocol. So what the spanning tree protocol will do, it will check that there is some redundancy here. So it will end up blocking one of the ports. So for example, say that it will block this port. Then at the end, what's going to happen that all the traffic from router 1 to router 2 and vice versa will be going from only the gigabit 0 over 1 link, because the link which is down, it's blocked. Then once this link go down, so if this link go down, then in this case, this will go up again and then traffic will go from here. So this is what the rapid spanning tree, and normally this is automatically happening to avoid having any loop, because if you don't have spanning tree protocol, then you may end up having layer 2 loops in your network, and that is not good at all. So for this reason, what we need to do is to not waste the second link, because if we just don't use it, then in this case, we are wasting a complete link. So if you have, for example, here 1 megabit per second speed or 1 gigabit per second speed, so you are losing all this traffic. So what we can do, we can use the Ether channel. Ether channel is you bundle the two interfaces together from this side, and you bundle the two interfaces together from this side. Then those switches will look at those two interfaces as one logical interface and one logical interface. So this switch will say, okay, I have only one interface, and this switch will say, I only have one interface, so there is no need for spanning tree protocol. And then in this case, the traffic can go from both links which are over here. So you can do up to 8 links. You can bundle them together on Cisco using the Ether channel. Now, on Cisco, there are three different types of Ether channel. We have what is called PAgP, and we have the LACP, and we have the static Ether channel. So the PAgP is a protocol proprietary for Cisco. So that means if you want to use PAgP, so you should have a Cisco switch here, and you have here a Cisco switch. Then in this case, you can use PAgP. Those two, they make some auto negotiation for the Ether channel. So one will be like, hey, I want to form with you Ether channel, and the second will say, okay, I will form with you Ether channel. So this is happening as an auto negotiation, so it's automatic. So if you use PAgP, this happens like this. The same for LACP. LACP, it's open standard. So if you have a Cisco switch here and you have a Juniper switch over here, then you can use LACP to form the Ether channel. But also it is working automatically. So one will negotiate to make the Ether channel, and the second will accept to make the Ether channel. And if you have seen videos that I do on my YouTube channel, you know that everything which is automatic, I really don't like it too much, because you have to trust your device that he's doing the right job for you. And automatic, yeah, I prefer to not do automatic. I prefer to do the static, which is coming here, the one which is static, which is Ether channel. So Ether channel, so you configure it statically on this switch, and then you have the Ether channel happening. So I'm going to show you the steps how to configure all those three options on the Cisco switch. So this is what we're going to do in this lab. Let's go now to the ports and start doing that. Port number 1, configure Ether channel on SW1 and SW2 using the PAgP. So remember, PAgP, that means this is working only on Cisco switches. Of course, I do have now only Cisco switches, so we can use PAgP. So they're saying that switch 1, SW1, should request for becoming an Ether channel, and switch 2 should accept the request. All right, so let me put the picture. So now the picture is there, and let's go, we start directly with switch 1. Before we do the switch 1 and switch 2, let me show you that if I go to switch 2 and I say show spanning tree, so you can see at this moment, switch 2, this is those two interfaces are going to switch 1. you can see the gigabit 0 over 0 is forwarding, gigabit 0 over 1 is blocking. So that means that the link with the 0 over 1 to the switch 1 is not being used at this moment because spanning tree is blocking it. Alright, so now let's start doing the Ether channels. So I have to go to the configure terminal, and here I have to say interface range, and I will say gigabit 0 over 0 until 0 over 1. So those two interfaces, and then I have to say channel group, and then I will say channel group, we take a number, so I say 1, and then mode, and over here, these are the modes which are important. Remember, switch 1 is the one requesting to make this Ether channel using PAgP. Then this one is the one we have to use, the desirable, because it's enable PAgP unconditionally. So this is what I need to say here, desirable. And that's it. So now, believe it or not, the router or the switch has created a port channel interface called port channel 1. So this is from one side. Now we go to the second side, which is on switch 2, and then also configure terminal interface range, gigabit 0 over 0 until 1, and then I will say channel group 1 mode. So the number 1 should be the same as the other one that we use, and then mode, and then over here we use desirable to be on switch 1, the one requesting. Now, the one who has to say that, yeah, okay, I can do the PAgP Ether channel with you, we have to use auto. Look, auto enable PAgP only if a PAgP device is detected. So this side will say auto. So desirable is the one who is actively trying to make the Ether channel on PAgP, and auto is the one which should say, okay, I can do Ether channel with you. Very good. So this side now, we just have configured the Ether channel. So while we are here, let's go to make some justification. First, let's do show Ether channel, and then we can say show Ether channel, for example, summary. So when we say show Ether channel summary, you can see over here that we are using PAgP, and those two ports are now bundled together, gigabit 0 over 1 and 0 over 0. So they are all bundled to each other, and it is under the port channel number 1. So this is one, and you can see now this port channel 1 is up. You see that? So now your Cisco switch will see only the port channel as the port, which has inside of it the two ports. Yeah, and also the other side as well. Now let's do some more justification. So we can say show Ether channel, and we can, for example, we can say detail. Then we can have more details information. So we can see, for example, this is the port channel that is used, and this is the protocol that we are using, and we can go a little bit down over here. So some more information. So that is the port that is being used, and that is the second port that is being used in the port channel. So those are more detailed information if you want to have some detailed information. So this is the port channel name, and you can see at the end it's saying those two ports are being bundled together. Alright, so this is the protocol also that is being used. Very good. So that is another command. Also, we can maybe check one more command, and we can see which one we can use. So we can say also show Ether channel port channel, and then port channel, and then we can say enter. So this will say that there is a port channel called port channel 1, and then it is bundling two interfaces and using PAgP. So you can see here the two interfaces which are being bundled. Very good. Now there is also a command we can use if you want. So it's we say show interface, for example, gigabit 0 over 0. And then we can say here at the end, this one, Ether channel. So then you can go specifically to that interface and see if it's part of the Ether channel. You can see it is part of it. So it's based on the channel group number 1, and it is the port channel 1. And yeah, so also you can see that it is this is the local, so that is himself, and it says who is the partner that is doing it in a channel with him. So which is switch 1, because we are on switch 2. So it states that it is making EtherChannel with switch 1 on the interface gigabit 0/0 of switch 1. Excellent. Now, this EtherChannel is working. Now, if I say show IP interface brief, we can look now and see, let's have a look. This is the port. Port channel 1, it is up. So that means if I say show spanning tree, before we have seen when we made show spanning tree that gigabit 0/1 was blocked. Now you see 0/0 and 0/1, they're not seen anymore in the spanning tree, but what we see on the spanning tree now, we see port channel 1, which is forwarding. And the port channel 1 is representing the two ports together. So you can see now you can increase your bandwidth double because you are using two links at the same time. Port number 1 is done. Port number 2, delete the PAgP on both switches. So we have to delete the configuration because we need now to make another configuration using the LACP. All right, let's go to switch 1. So if you want, there is a command that you can use. You can say default, and then you say interface gigabit 0/0, and then you click on enter. Then this will bring your interface to the default. But I have tried it and I've seen that once I do it, then it will show reset and down. Then I need to reboot my switch in this case. So I don't want to waste the time because I'm doing a video now to reboot the switch. So what we can do, we can just say no, no interface range. So we can go first to the interface range as gigabit 0/0, and then until 1, and then we can repeat the comment that we made. It's this one. No channel group 1 desirable, and then I will also say no interface port channel 1. So I deleted those two interfaces. So let's check now if everything is fine. Show IP interface brief. Very good. So those interfaces are back, and then port channel is gone. So I'll do the same over here. Configure terminal. We go to the range. So I will repeat the comment, and then I will say here no channel group 1, and then I will say over here no interface port channel 1. Very good. So now if I say show IP interface brief, just to check, so the interfaces are back, and yeah, there is no port channel. Now if we say again show spanning tree, it's interesting to see what's going to happen now. You see that gigabit 0/1 and 0/0 showed up, and 0/1 is now alternate blocking. All right, so let's see what is the next point. Point number 2 is done. Point number 3, now we need to configure EtherChannel on switch 1 and switch 2 using the LACP. Remember, LACP is an open standard. That means if you have a switch of which is Cisco and with another switch which is from other brand, then most likely you will end up using LACP because this is an open standard protocol. It is available on most of the brands. But now they're saying that switch 2 should be the one requesting to become EtherChannel, and switch 1 should accept that. So we have to use LACP. Let's go to the switches, and I start with switch 2 because this is the switch which is going to request to become the EtherChannel. So we go to configure terminal, and again I have to say interface range gigabit 0/0 until 1, and then over here I have to say channel group also 1, mode, and now the mode, before we use desirable for the PAgP, now we have to say active. Look, enable LACP unconditionally. So because this one I want to become the EtherChannel, so this one the requesting to become the EtherChannel, so I'm going to say active. Okay, so that's all I need to do. Now again, the port channel has been created on the switch. Now we go to switch number 1. And again, let's repeat the command, configure terminal, and we go to interface range 0/0 for gigabit until 0/1. And then now I have to say channel group 1 mode. So we used active on the switch 1, or switch 2 actually. Now we have to use passive on switch 1, which is enable LACP only if a LCP device is detected. So passive. Same idea like PAgP, but it's only that here we say active passive, there we were saying desirable and auto. And then I will say enter. Very good. So now, just to make justification, I will do one justification. So show EtherChannel summary. So we can see that, look, protocol LACP, and then those are both of them bundled. Very good. And this interface port channel 1 is up. We go to switch 2, show EtherChannel summary also LACP, those two, and then they belong to the port channel, which is port channel 1. And then let's check the spanning tree now, show spanning tree. So 0 over 0 and 0 over 1, they are gone, and now they are being replaced by this one, which is always, now it's learning, yeah, because the spanning tree normally takes a bit of time. So now it's learning. In a moment it should be forwarding, so let's check again. Let's see. Here we go. So it is now forwarded. Very good. So now this is how you can configure the LACP. Now the next step is to configure the EtherChannel. Point number 3 is done. Point number 4, delete the LACP on both switches. We need to delete it to be able to configure the static EtherChannel. Okay, let's do that very fast. So we go to the configure terminal, and then we go to the interface range, and then we say, we have written that no interface. So before we do that, so this one, it should be on switch 1. That is the passive. Okay, and then we go one step back, and we say no interface. We have to delete the port channel. Yeah, this one. We go to the switch 2, configure terminal, interface range, and then now we say no active for this channel group, and then we take out also the port channel. Very good. So now once we do that, it's gonna, if we say show IP interface brief, we should not see anymore the port channel showing up anymore. Yes, and if we do show spanning tree, we should see those two interfaces are showing up, and look, this is already blocking. So now the next step is to see how we can use the static EtherChannel. So I don't want to use any auto negotiation, I want to do it statically. Point number 4 is done. Point number 5, configure EtherChannel on both switch 1 and switch 2 without negotiation protocol. So not LACP and not PAgP. So let's start with switch number 1. So again, we have to go to the interface range gigabit 0 over 0 until 1. And then over here, I have to say channel group, also I will take number 1. And then the mode, the only mode that is for EtherChannel to make it statically is to use here on. So that's, you see, active, auto, desirable, and passive, we have seen them on the PAgP and LACP. Now over here, I have to say on. It should be on. Okay, very good. So it has created the port channel 1. We do the same on switch 2, configure terminal, interface range, gigabit 0 over 0 until 1. And then we have to say here channel group 1 mode on. That's it. So here we go. You can see that should be something now that is up and up. Very good. Now, if we look what we have, so if I say show EtherChannel summary, so we can see that this is the port channel shown up, protocol nothing, because we make it static, so there is no LACP, there is no PAgP, and it's bundling those two interfaces together. And if I now look again to the spanning tree, we can see that those two interfaces are gone and they are replaced now with this one. Of course, it is learning. In a moment, it will go to forwarding, and the traffic will be able to pass through the two interfaces. Point number 5 is done, and then the next point now, which is point number 6, is to make an extended ping from PC1 to router 1. Actually, it should be from router 1 to router 2. Let me just fix that, because we do have two routers here. So from router 1 to router 2, and then we have to shut down the port which is gigabit 0/1 on switch 1, and then we have to see if the ping is working. All right, so what is the idea here? If we go back now to the picture, so let me just open the picture. So we have router 1. I want to do a ping. We have already EtherChannel here configured, the static one. So I'm going to do ping from router 1 to router 2. So the ping will be able to use both links to reach to router 2 and vice versa. And I'm going to disable this interface here. Then to see if the ping will be keep working, because then this link will be down. Then this link will be able to send the traffic. First, let's try to do the ping from router 1 to router 2. Let's go to the routers. I already have put the IP addresses. If you want, I can show you. Show IP interface brief. So this is the IP address that I have put 192.168.12.1 on this router. On the other router is 12.2. So from router 1, I will do a ping, and this ping will go to 192.168.12.2, and then we make it extended. Now I'll go to the switch, and from the switch, I will go to the interface gigabit 0/0, for example. Yes, 0/0, and we make it shut down. And let's see if the ping would keep working here. Here we go. You see, nothing has happened. So now the traffic is going from gigabit 0/1 from router 1 to reach router 2. So even though that this interface is down, that's not a problem. So this is working without any issue on router 1. Point number 6 is done, and with this point I have showed you how you can configure the 3 different ways to make EtherChannel with using the PAgP. Remember, PAgP is a Cisco proprietary, and then you have the LACP, which is open standard. Both PAgP and LACP, they use some type of negotiation to form the EtherChannel. And then the last one, I show you how you can configure EtherChannel with using the static mode. And then we have seen that it's working using the extended ping. So if you like my way of teaching, please do not forget to put like on this video, subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell so you are notified about my new videos. Thank you very much for your time, and see you in some other videos.